and I was posted to Sokoto. Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. That is, if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for returning. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Danielle Uju, and the name of this channel is Danielle Uju, and I am the host of this channel. So what I do here is I put up lifestyle content that's usually my vlogs, and I put up chit chat videos where I sit down, I interview people, or I just talk. So today's video is one of those chit chat videos. In today's video, I am trying to talk about my NYSC experience. So for that breaking trash, which I needed to do something. So yesterday is a sit down video, and I'm here to talk about my NYSC experience. Nigerian Youth Service Corps, I believe that's what it is. I'll put the correct definition of the abbreviation somewhere here. So I'm here to talk about that. NYSC is a 1-year service program where you serve your country. You're supposed to serve in the state that you are not from and in the state that you did not school in. So I schooled in University of Nigeria in Sokoto, that's in Enugu, and I am from Abia State. I hail from Abia State. My full name is Danielle Uju, hence the name, the channel name Danielle Uju, so the name of Uju. So yeah, so I was not to serve in the East. I had just finished university from the uni, and I knew that I wanted to live in Abuja. My sisters were in Abuja, so I really relocated to Abuja, and I had a job at the time. So I think around this time last year, I was preparing to go for youth service, because I feel like you can't get like an official job in Nigeria unless you've done youth service. So I was preparing to go for my youth service, and I already knew that I'm in Abuja, so I wanted to be in Abuja. I think around this time last year, I had already done my registration, and I was waiting for my name to come out on the NYSC list, and it would include the state I was supposed to. I don't understand why this is telling me I'm going to Sokoto. Yeah, who is going to This NYSC guy should not just play with me. Is it mad? Is it that too? And it came out. And I was posted to Sokoto. Fine. Seems like I'm actually going to go to the Sokoto. And bear in mind, the person that I am with, or my partner at the time, my partner, is that the right word? The person I have a relationship with had warned me, and he was like, are you sure you want to go to Sokoto? You could just usually like wait for the second batch of people and stay in Abuja and camp in Abuja. Just because it's a 1-year program, and before you start your 1 year, you have a 3 weeks orientation camp where they tell you about NYSC. It's basically a drill program and everything. So when I found that out, I called one of my guys, one of my really close friends, and he was like, oh, he too was posted in Sokoto, where we were in the same department, and he was my really close friend, Eric. So I called him, and he was like, oh, he too was posted to Sokoto, and then I went ahead to force him. I was like, let's go, you know, it's gonna be a different experience and whatnot. And he was, you know, not all open to the idea. There was also one other person from our department, from one of our classmates too, that was posted in Sokoto, and he was like, he's going. So I was like, Eric, let's go, like it shouldn't be that bad. So I started preparing to go to Sokoto, and I think I got this news like 3 days before, so I had like a few days to start getting ready. I went to the market with my friend, I started buying all the little things, and bear in mind, I knew that I was going to stay those 3 weeks in Sokoto. Sokoto is in the northern part of Nigeria. I've never been there. I've never like really imagined that I would have to go there. So I was like, I really knew that I was going to spend all the 3 weeks in Sokoto, so I was already planning ahead of that. And the same thing was with my friend Eric. We had planned that we were not going to stay all throughout the orientation camp period. So I went to the market, got the basic stuff that you need. If you've done NYSC before, or you know about NYSC, you know that basics of what you're supposed to buy are white. You wear white on white. So yeah, I went to the market, and then I also went ahead to get a doctor's report. But then heads up, yeah, if you don't want to stay the 3 weeks in camp, make sure that you get a medical you're supposed to get a fitness report before you go to camp. A fitness report basically tells them that you're fit, you're medically, or is it medically fit, or you're healthy, you're fit to be in a camp. So that was a mistake I made. I had a health report that said I was fit to be in camp, but I had a doctor's report that said I had a medical condition. So that was the problem. Anyways, so fast forward or backtrack. So everything was ready and I booked a flight from Abuja to Sokoto. So that morning my friend Eric was coming from Enugu, so we met at the airport. His flight was early morning to Enugu, then the second flight was like I think an hour apart. It was like 10 a.m. from Abuja to Sokoto. So we met at the airport, and then while we were at the airport we were discussing and we were like, yo, what's the plan and everything. And I think we kind of like mentioned like, oh, what if case scenario if we don't get to leave, what would it be like and everything. So we discussed it and he was like, oh, he too has a medical report. So backstory, yeah, I have a trace of asthma, or I am kind of asthmatic, but it's not a chronic case of asthma. So the asthma was in the doctor's report. Okay, so that was like my plan B, like to stand strong on that, like, hey, I have asthma, or I'll just do something hectic and faint. So that was my plan B. So we arrived in Sokoto. We flew from Abuja to Sokoto and we arrived, and bro, coming out from the airport, there's a heat wave, like a heat shock, like boom. I was like, wow, I'm really here. So it was crazy. And then we saw some other people, like the airport was full, like people were coming in for the camp. So we saw I think a couple of other people, and they were like, oh, we should just book a cab. So there are cabs outside there, and we just told them, oh, we're going to NYSC orientation camp, and we paid and we started driving to the camp. So we got to the camp location, and you open your suitcase, you show them everything that's in your suitcase, contrabands, they'll take it out and whatnot. So we got there, we did the whole registration process, and I think the first day was it wasn't so hectic. It was kind of like a breeze for me, because I think on the first day you're supposed to register, get your uniform and everything, so it wasn't so hectic for me. I was trying to be really optimistic. I was like, yo, I'm not going to stay here till the end. So the first day was good. I got my uniform. I was basically hanging out with my guy until I got to the prior to that, I had somebody. So one of my friends, my namesake Danielle, shout out to you. She's schooled in Lagos, but when I told her I was posted to Sokoto, she was like, oh, she has one of her classmates that was actually posted to Sokoto, and that girl was resuming in camp a day before me. Yeah, so we connected to each other, and she kept a bed space for me. She kept a bed space directly opposite her for me. So when I got to the camp, the girls' hostel, it was easier for me. I just had to go get a mattress. And that was like my first shocker. Like, I went to get a mattress, and the mattress was, I don't know what that mattress was, but the mattress was not mattressing. The mattress was flat. So I put the mattress, I lay it down, and the first night you have I think a welcome party, welcome whatever, and a social night. Yeah, so Eric and I go for this, and fast forward, I go to the hostel, and this hostel was nothing to write home about. First of all, I didn't stay in hostel in university. I lived off campus. That's what it's called. I lived off campus. I lived in an I won't call it an apartment. I lived in a boys' quarters with my sister, like a lecturer's boys' quarter with my sister. So I didn't live in a hostel. So I didn't know. The last time I was in a hostel was in secondary school, and my secondary school hostel was not bad at all. It was okay. It was nothing too bad. It was something conducive. We had a shower. The environment was neat. So I didn't have a bad experience of a hostel. So when I got there, I was I first of all sent it straight to the first time I was in a relationship with. I sent it to him, and he was like, you're going to get sick in that camp. Like, I warned you, and you're going to get sick. And no, it was horrible. Like, I sent it straight to everybody, and I was like, that was like the point. I was like, yes, girl, you are not going to stay here for sure. So laying down on the bed, my bed was like, I could literally feel the bunk under me. The mattress was not mattressing. That mattress was just a mattress for for the sake of they gave you a mattress. But literally, I felt like I was lying down on a bunk. Like, I could feel the metal. I hardly slept. I woke up the next morning. Bathing was nothing to write home about. Bathing in that bathroom was heck. And the shocking part for me was that I saw pregnant women in that camp. I saw women like came with their babies to the camp, and I was like, how are you guys doing this? Anyways, I had a bath. You wake up really early. You wake up by 6 or something. It was really early. We had the whole morning drill and whatnot. And the thing about Sokoto is they have flies. Big annoying flies, and there are lots of flies. So you're waking up at 6 a.m. to go and do so orientation camp is supposed to be like an army drill. You have the whole army like training for 3 weeks. So you wake up really early, you go march, you go do your morning devotion, then you march, and then so early in the morning by 6 you're already seeing flies. Tell me where you see flies by 6 a.m. Only in Sokoto. So that was really irritating already. That was irritating as is. So did the whole morning stuff. I tried to enjoy it, but I wasn't enjoying it. Like I wasn't finding it funny. So I think some army people, like the army officials, already kind of like marked my face, because if you're a pretty girl, there's no getting past marking your face. They'll obviously know you. So my face was marked, and one army official took it upon himself to make sure that I participated in the parade and everything. And gradually going along, I knew that if I stayed in that camp any longer, I would become too popular to leave, because everybody just takes a liking to me or just notices me. So the first day was agenda, leave this place. Eric and I went about, so we're trying to do everything to leave. We went about, we were just talking and complaining, but we're making sure that we try to leave. So fast forward, basic notable information or something that you need to know is that we had already booked our flight back to Abuja from Sokoto for a particular date, because there were limited flights. So we had already booked our flights and said that by so day, if we do not leave, there will be a problem, because there was no other flight apart from that one or something like that. So we had already booked our flight. So let's say, for example, if I had come in on Thursday, my flight was for Sunday or Monday. So it was like 3 or 4 days. And I was like, yo, I must leave here before my flight leaves me or I miss my flight. So I did the whole hustle, and basically I was able to get a pass out of NYSC camp. And sad news is that my friend Eric did not get a pass. And yeah, I feel bad. Public apology to Eric. I dragged you to camp and I left you in camp. So here's the story. I chased that medical report. I chased it trying to get an exit from camp for the whole 3 days I was in camp. I was up and about trying to get that. And when that exit came out, it came out by I think 10 a.m. and my flight was it came out 12 noon, and my flight was for 4 p.m. Yo, my flight was for that day, 4 p.m. Yo, when I say I was happy, I was excited. I was like, oh my God did it for me, because we had until 1 p.m. to either leave, to make our flights open flights. So Eric was like, are you sure? Do you want to make your flight an open flight? It was it was push or shove situation. It was like, yo, this is the final point. Are you going to make your flight an open flight, or you're sure you want to leave it like this and you're sure you're going to get an exit? Because I think I left mine open and Eric I left mine as a ticket, so that if I missed it, I had missed it. But Eric opened his flight. He made his ticket an open ticket. So I was really happy when my news came out that, yo, I've gotten an exit. And the first person that called, I was like, yo, I've already got, because shout out to the person I have in a relationship with, because he heard, I talked his ear off. I used to call him, I'd cry, I'd be like, yo, I can't do this anymore. And he was like, I want you. And when I called him, he was really happy for me. Like, I was slipping into depression in that camp. The hostel was annoying. There was no convenient place for you to use a restroom. Like, everything was just, draining my joy. And when I got the exit, Eric was like, yeah, it's better you leave, because you were getting so depressed here. Like, he knew that I was getting depressed. He was like, yeah, it's better you leave. So I kind of felt bad. I apologized and everything, but yeah, I finally left by 12. I left the orientation camp by 1 p.m. and my flight was for 4 p.m. So that was my experience with the orientation camp. I left, and I'm sorry once again to my guy, I left him in camp. He wasn't able to get an exit, and he stayed the whole 3 weeks in camp. And bro, I don't know how I would have done it, but I'm grateful that I left that camp. So anyways, that was my camp experience, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you feel like there's more gist you want to hear, let me know in the comment section, and I'll come back and do a second part of this video. But that's all for now on my NYSC experience. Yeah, you'll see clips. Obviously, I'm sure you've seen clips by now, because I intend to add clips from my NYSC experience. to this video, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you watch till the end, if you watch to this point, you're the best. Now, like, share, subscribe. Share to your friends and family. Share to people that are going for NYSC and tell them, hey, heads up, there are a few tips for you here in this video. Watch it. Oh yeah, and I actually did a video with my sister when she went for NYSC. I'll add a link here. Yeah, it should be here. I'll add a link to that video. She's telling us about how she managed in camp, because my sister stayed the whole 3 weeks in her camp in Sokoto. No, she went to Ogun State, so she tells you tips and tricks. I'll add the link to the video. And mind you, I was laughing at her when she was in camp. I was like, you're such a baby, why are you complaining? And she did not let me hear the end of it, because I did not stay my own 3 weeks in camp. I stayed 3 days or 4 days and I was done with it.